Alrighty, welcome everybody. This is Michael, and this is a new series of tutorials for the Prefab editor in 7 Days to Die. Now, this is not going to be your basic introductory type set of tutorials. It's going to be more along the lines of a lot of little tricks and traps that I have discovered in my own little journey in making prefabs for the game. This particular episode is going to be about creating hidden noise traps. So if you're familiar with the game, you realize that there's a lot of these noise traps around all over the place. And if you walk across them, it's going to make a bunch of noise, potentially waking up zombies in the area. And it gives you different types of noises as you go across. Sometimes it's kind of crunching glass, sometimes it's cans and whatnot. But it's a nice way of trying to keep your players on their toes and make sure that they're trying to be as stealthy as possible. Now, of course, if you're trying to be stealthy, you just go in here, you creep up here, and you just whack away at them. But this got to me thinking as far as what can I do to make it look like there's no noise traps, but actually have noise traps there. So I started playing around with the various types of decor that they have that are the noise trapped objects. And I discovered that one particular one, which I call the broken glass noise trap, the official name of it is the Garbage Decor 3. There's a couple of interesting properties of this one that makes it perfect for creating hidden noise traps. One is that it does have advanced rotation, where you can rotate it in different axes. And as I rotate through this here, I'm going to go ahead and get it on the side like this. So you see, this is the downside, or the bottom where you would be looking at it from above. But from the bottom, it is totally transparent. So you can only see it from the one side. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a whole row of these here just so I can demonstrate this. I'm hitting the Z key, and I'm going to hit my Z key again. And with the noise trap in my hand, I'm going to hit the letter L, and that will fill in my selection with all these noise traps. Now, if I'm walking on what would be the top side, it is creating noise. Okay, that's perfect. But what I also discovered is if you go on the bottom side, it also creates noise. So basically, this is my solution for creating an invisible noise trap. So here we have a use example. Looks like a fairly clear hallway, but if I walk through here, and I'll be real quiet, we got all kinds of noise going on there. And in all reality, I have a total of 8 or 9 different noise traps in here. So what I've done, I'm gonna go ahead and hop up here. We have one here. We've got another one over here. If I hop on top of the table here, I have 2 of them up higher, and I'll go into more detail on how those work. I have another one in front of this door, and I have this door set to locked so they wouldn't try to go through there. Nothing over on this side, because if you put one on opposite of the other one, they're going to cancel each other out. There's really no point in having a second noise trap across here. We've got another one up above on the table here. We've got another one on the side of the potted plant, and of course over here on the little gap here between the lamp and the bookshelf. So again, as you're going through here, it's making a lot of noise. Now with these upper ones, so basically how these work is they will activate as long as they're at the same level that your feet are walking on. So this block is sitting on this entire flat plane here. So this one is being activated when I walk across it. Well, that's not necessarily true for these ones that are up here higher. So what I've done here is I've added let me go ahead and erase this. I have a thin sheet of concrete. I use the same material as my base, just so they would have normally the same noise and actually the same hit points. If people start hitting on it, they won't realize there's an actual plate. But by putting this thin sheet here, it's moving my feet up fractionally where I'm no longer walking on this main base level. So as I'm fractionally above, it's actually activating this noise trap that is at shoulder level. So I have a couple of these here. I have this one here, and I have another one here in front of this noise trap. So that's how those actually work. Now, one of the problems with a lot of these blocks is as you're walking by them, I'm not jumping up at all. It's automatically popping you up. And this could reveal these hidden noise traps. Now, my next little section here is going to kind of cover another trick using these same noise traps that will be a solution for keeping people from popping up on this furniture. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to this little room here I've also built. Go in, we got a little pit here. It's 2 blocks deep and 2 blocks wide. Very easy for me to jump. You know, if I go ahead, I can do a standing jump and basically do that without any problem. So if I'm going in here, I come across this pit. I'm just going to go ahead and jump across. There's a ladder over here, so that might mess me up. So I'm just going to jump in the middle here. I jump, and I couldn't get all the way up, and something was blocking my way. And I'm seeing, okay, what are these weird things? So I'm going to go ahead and try. If I just jump, you can see I'm not going anywhere. So let me go ahead and go into the fly mode here, and what you can see is I've got a whole layer of these noise traps with the transparent side facing down, and it's basically creating an invisible force field that's preventing me from actually going up there. Now, one thing you need to be careful with doing these do not have horizontal support. So if I go ahead and click on this, you see horizontal support is 0. So if I did a whole layer like this, that are 2 blocks away from something that's suspending it, these would actually collapse. The ones that are on the walls would be attached to the walls, but these ones in the center would actually collapse. So what I've done is I've added plates all along the outside. I've left this one in the middle empty so I could put a light there, but the ones that are here along the sides is actually holding up the center one, so it actually does have a bit of structural integrity. Now, I'm of the philosophy I really don't want to screw over players. I do like to have fun with them and you know, try to catch them up in traps. So I always do try to give them some way out. Now, if they fall in here the first time, they're going to see these. I have them on both sides and a ladder so they can get out. And if they've gone in here, you know, 1 or more times before, they'll realize that they can actually cut across these, because you can walk on these blocks as well. So it gives you kind of an invisible bridge to get across. So that's another trick you can do. Now, if we take this particular trick and go back over here to our hallway, we can use that same trick to prevent this popping up and exposing your different traps. So I'm going to check and make sure I have my noise trap on the downward position, the normal ground facing type orientation like that. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit Z up here to select this block, select Z over here to select that, and with the noise trap in my hand, I'm going to hit the letter L. And now if I go into fly mode, I now have this layer of noise traps. So now if I go back in here, if I walk through here, you know, I usually pop up when I'm trying to get up on this couch. It's not popping me up. I can't jump up. I can't really go anywhere to be able to see any of these noise traps. Now over here, I do have the possibility, but on this side of the wall, I actually have a sleeper, and I could have a whole bunch of sleepers. So this would be where your trap would be set. They can be coming here thinking they're being careful. They set off the noise traps, and these guys are going to wake up and attack you. And there's various, but you can have them in the roof, you know, to into the ceiling where they can drop down on you. How we really want to do that. This is basically just a use case scenario of kind of how you can use these noise traps. Now you notice I basically only have 1 block wide that then they can actually walk in, and that's kind of what you want to do to try to force them to brush up against these noise traps. If you have a, you know, a too wide corridor, you're not going to be as successful in them and getting those noise traps. And you can weave it in and out as long as there's really only one path that they could actually follow in and out. So that's kind of the primary main use of these noise traps. There's another thing you can do with these, which is also going to be kind of fun. Say for instance you have a room where you go in, everything's fine. You come up here and you activate a trap where it spawns some zombies behind you. Well, you might think, okay, let me just go ahead and run through here so I can get some distance and have a door between us. But I can't get through there. So you're basically going to forced to fight the zombies. And again, this is just basically those noise traps set on their side with the transparent side facing the other direction, and it basically blocks you from being able to go through there. Now these don't have a lot of hit points. They've only got 50 hit points each. So if you know they're there, it's an easy matter of just shooting and being able to get your way through. So it's not a totally impenetrable force field, but it does cause the players to be able to pause them and force them to face a spawned horde of zombies on your terms as opposed to on their terms. So those are just a few little handy tricks using the noise traps and being able to hide them. My next episode is going to be tricks with the terrain blocks, where you can also hide noise traps within terrain, as well as other things, without the players being able to see them. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave a comment below. I'd like to thank you all for joining me and hope to see you again soon. Take care.